Alright, I'm actually gonna record this game of Gwent because I've been collecting lots of cards. As you can see, I've actually collected almost all of the special cards. I have Cyrilla card, which is probably the most powerful card that you can get. I have Roche, I have Yennefer, which is an excellent card because she also heals any card and brings it back to the battle. I have Asteroid Thyssen, I have no idea who that is. I'm sure that's a king that's in the game, but I just don't remember who he is. Philippa Eilhart. I actually thought that she would appear in this game, but she doesn't. The mission, the side quest for her is unfortunately, you know, you go through her lab just to find that she disappeared. So unfortunately, you don't actually get to see her, I guess, until the end of the game. I did kind of sneak a peek at the possibilities of meeting her in the game, and it sounds like you may actually meet her, but just way in the end, not yet. So you don't really get to see her. And then I have a bunch of other cards here. The cards I really like are, so this is Jixtra, that's Ruben basically, Reuven, and he's a spy card. He basically joins the enemy team, but also gives you 2 cards from your stack, 2 extra cards from your stack. Same with Prince Stannis, but he actually has a little bit more offense. And the cards that I have in the other decks, oh yeah, there's also special cards. Like the ones you always want to have is Commander Horn. You also want to have Scorch would be nice, because Scorch essentially what it does is it removes the most powerful cards from the table, but that can also be your cards. So you have to use it specifically. If it shows up, I'll show you when to use it. Then we have Squirter Deck. I don't really use this very much. I actually haven't even added this card to it. And Dandelion as well. Mostly because they don't really have as many heroes. As you can see, there's really just Cyrilla here and Yennefer, and it's a little bit more difficult to play with these guys because they don't really, well, except for I guess Milva, they don't really have as many good or interesting characters. Then there's monsters, which is something I'm still collecting. I don't have that many, but I do have these 2. And monsters is actually something I want to collect because there's like crones, for example. Crones are awesome. I want to collect all 3 crones so that I can actually use them, because currently I only have 1. I want to have more. And the last deck that I actually do like to use is Nilfgaardians. So Nilfgaardians have even more heroes. So here, look at that. I have, except for these guys obviously, I have Letho. He has 10 attack. I have Menno Cohurn. He is absolutely amazing. He not only does he have 10 attack, but he also brings back a dead hero. There's Morhan Voorhees. We do get to meet this character in the game. Tiber Eggenbracht. Don't really remember who that is. And their infantry and also their siege units are very powerful as well. So as you can see, this is 10-10. So there's quite a lot of powerful units here. They have some healing units as well. They have units that, like for example, this cavalry here, they reinforce each other. So if you have all 3 on the same board, you'll actually get something crazy like 18 attack from them. And so yeah, anyway, but I'm gonna play as Northern Realms because I kind of like playing as them. And it's also usually a little bit more challenging than playing with Guardians. I also have 2 different leader types. I can actually change my leader. I have this guy right here that has an ability of rain, I think. Yeah, or fog, one of those. Basically, he debuffs all of the siege or ranged units. I forget which ones. But I like this guy here because this guy gives me a buff instead. He buffs all of my siege units. So it's actually a pretty cool ability. So let's start the game. And okay, so opponent is playing as Squirter. Squirter, if you've played Gwent a lot, you'll know what each type has. Like for example, monsters usually have a lot of melee units, so you want to keep as many Biting Frosts as you can, because Biting Frost is a debuff for all melee units. Now Squirter they have a choice usually. They can go either ranged or melee, so there's a 50-50 chance, but usually they go ranged. So I'm going to remove some of the Biting Frosts and get some better cards. I also want to make sure that I have at least a few heroes, a few siege units, and I want to have a spy. I don't really want this guy, so I'm going to replace him. Oh no, replace him with the same card. That's okay. Alright, so you get 2 replacements, and so here we're going to start the game. he is going ranged. Alright, so very likely that he's going to be playing ranged. So I may as well start playing ranged as well. Or actually, I'm gonna go siege first, and I'll show you how siege units work. So as long as he doesn't debuff my siege units. Alright, so he's using a horn. This will give him double attack for all of the ranged units, which is going to be a trouble if he has a lot. And he probably does have a lot. I'm gonna just use all of my siege, because why not? Oh, okay, so he does have a melee unit. So now I'm gonna use my leader card, and my leader card will buff my siege, give him twice as much attack. So now I already have 24 against his 13. He's putting this card that was going to bring some friends, and alright, so that gives me a signal. And the signal is that I have to use my debuff. That's a perfect opportunity to use a debuff, and look at that, he's down to 12 again. He's using Scorch, which will, yep, killed all of my... That's what Scorch does, it kills any most powerful unit on the battlefield, and unfortunately, if there's more than one, it will kill all of them. So I'm gonna use this to give myself 2 more cards. There we go, we got Yennefer, and we got a, look at that, look at what we got a Scorch as well. So if by any chance he actually clears the weather now and removes my Frost, I'll be able to Scorch all of his units, almost all of his melee units. But I'm not gonna do that yet, I'm actually just gonna keep playing. And since I don't have any more range units, or do I? I totally do. I'm gonna put Yennefer and bring back one of my range units, because she has a healing ability. So I'm gonna bring back this Ballista right here. And look at that, I'm back to winning again. 19 against his 14. Now he has Triss Marigold. I don't have that card yet. I would like to have that. Triss is a special card that is not affected by any buffs or debuffs, which is not good for me, but good for him. Which also means that I'm going to be using one as well. I'm going to use Roach. I can put Roach in a freezing area and he's not going to be affected by it. So there we go, 29 against 21. He only has 3 cards left. Puts this. Alright. Now I need to make sure that I win this round. And in order for me to win this, I may have to use... I don't want to use her yet. I always skip the best cards for last, because you never know what's going to happen. So I'm going to put this guy. Let's see what happens. He has 2 cards left. Oh wow, he has another... I've never seen that card before. That's... Let me actually read this. What does this card do? I mean, they're just an archer card, but who is this? Hero, not a... Aethy. There we go, I finally managed to read this. The Dryad Queen has eyes in the molten silver. Alright, so it's some sort of an elf. Elf queen. And... yeah. He's gonna win right now if I pass the turn. And if he wins, I believe he gets to bring back one of his cards. I still have 5 cards, so I can still win both rounds. So what I think I'm gonna do is... I can also use a Scorching card to get rid of this lady right here, which will give him minus 12. You know what? I'm gonna skip this. We're gonna take this hit, because he only has 1 card left. And very likely that... yeah, there's very likely that he's just gonna have to play that card right now, which means that he pretty much lost. Unless he has a spy card, and I don't think he does. He would have used a spy card already. Oh, look at that, he only has Scorch. Excellent, so that's it for him. So now I can just play... I'm gonna play her first, win this round, and that's it, we won the game. So this is essentially how you play Gwent. You have to play strategically, it's super fun. It's actually... sometimes it's even more fun than playing... oh look, I got another horn. Sometimes it's even more than, you know, more fun than playing the actual Witcher. This should be like a separate game by itself as well, like a more complex version. There we go, we just won.